Dear friends, in the last session, we discussed about objectivity and politics of news. In this session, let's understand and discuss about a vital topic of news, neutrality and bias in news. First of all, we have to understand the differences between objectivity and neutrality. If a reporter gives all information gathered from the location is called objectivity, and if he leaves the analysis part of the reporting, then it is called as neutrality. Here you may get another question, then which one is correct under the umbrella of media ethics? So, to take a stand between these two states, we can go through this session. Let's see what is neutrality of news. In this digital era, everyone is having access to post, publish, provide content in the form of text, audio, video, presentation to anyone around the globe with the help of social media. Because of this situation, questioning the truthness of the news is getting a strength nowadays. According to the English journalist Aidan White, in 2016, media learned the hard way that journalism is in danger of being overwhelmed by rug politics and a communication revolution that accelerates the spread of lies, misinformation and dubious claims. This is not only Aidan White's idea, but also many media ethics observers remain and following the same idea, that social media is taking the journalism into a malicious lies with the concept of free circulation of news to all. Still, some researchers believe in journalism's neutrality and not going against the technology. They do not blame social media for this crisis. Next, we will see about conflicts. When a reporter is entering into the political news section, they must understand the concept of news as conflict and conflicts as news. Next, we will see about conflicts. When a reporter is entering into the political news section, they must understand the concept of news as conflict and conflict as news. A common concern shared by many studies on the media conflict is whether the media contribute to conflict resolution or the media help sustain or escalate the conflict. An evidence from media research done in 2006 is published as a case study in the book Broadcasting of Violence on Spanish Television, a Quantitative Panorama. The chapter Aggressive Behavior explains that the over-reporting of an event is an act of aggression, whereas the standard modes of news presentation are unsuitable for promoting solutions and triggering a creative public discourse. Not only in Spanish television channels, but also this happened in all over the world. Every discussion shows in India also promotes to have a discourse, but when it comes to neutrality concept, these shows are pouring more fuel to the fire in some cases. According to the study, the over-narration and over-reporting will encourage violent imagery to the larger amount of population. But this study suggests the reports to phase down the reporting techniques with systematically neglecting phrases to avoid the aggressiveness. But with an anthropological understanding, the dual opposition takes places everywhere in our ideas. It happens in media reporting also. When a reporter leaves good, the evil content comes into the presentation. Same like innocent, guilty, civilized, barbaric, heroic, cowardly will be chosen from the reporter's perspective. Communication scholars believe that such characteristics of new media have a more like implications for the public understanding and gives emotional responses and behavior. So, the reporter should always look for the neutral understanding for the conflict news. In peace journalism, truthful, unbiased, full disclosure reporting is called as a balanced coverage. So, the reports should take out their personal opinions and interest from all sides and equally distribute the binary opposition concept to their news coverage to make it as neutrality in news. The second view on conflict, reporters should look out for news as conflict. That means the tendency of news media to frame news in terms of conflict, especially routine news about differences of political opinion among public officials. This process will capture audience interest more quickly. This controversial issue should be steered with the proper advanced thought process of a reporter and should be in a controlled projection in print and television. Mostly, this kind of conflict is rare in practical. No reporter should use the media vehicle to gain weightage for their ideas. News as conflict should be removed within self-censor process. It may be a huge competition, commercial profits for the channel, but the negativity and marketable spoil the news contents should be censored within the channel terms. Then that will promote the neutrality of the news. Then we will see about social media and news neutrality. What if a journalist shares his personal opinion in a news report? It will become as a biased reporting. But when it comes to social media posts of the same journalist, it's not biased, reporting of the same news and also defined personal opinion. The reason behind this difference is the number of social media users in India are around 326.1 million in 2018. A tiny circle or a huge limited audience are looking for the journalist personal profiles in social media. It may produce a debate over the social media or not. Anyway, it is a closed discussion between groups of people. But in America, few eminent journalists are approaching the social media post with the same media ethics scale. The editors of the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal are deriving social media guidelines for them and for their reporters. This is an elongated policy of the media corporate which will take dynamic follow-ups of the old-fashioned neutrality. Journalist Matthew Ingram is not liking these policies over the reporters. He tweeted that the New Times and Journal policies, like similar rules at other news organizations, are bound to fail. A ban on opinionated tweets stops media outlets from taking advantages of what makes social networks interesting. If someone tells you that they have no opinion even on serious issues, that they are totally objective and that they also never make a mistake, you would probably think they are either a liar or a sociopath. And yet, that is what social media policies like the ones at the Times and the Journal are asking people to believe. Ingram's statement is favoring the transparent approach of news. But a news organization should use social media but with lesser arguments so that they can deliver the content which are needs for the audience and that would not stir their minds with aggression. What if a news organization is use a policy that's supposed to violate the individual freedom of expression? Should they stick with what the organization thinks? Should they execute or prompted with the organizational ideas? It will also bring a biased endorsement in social media. This should be a fine line. Reporters of an organization are also a face of it, so they must stick with the policy. But the reporting should be neutral to everyone. The news and social media post should be neutral to support the media ethics. Personal opinions should not interfere with the reporter's job. Print, radio, television and social media news reporting platforms can differ, but the standards should remain the same. It should be neutral. Media neutrality and its significance in democracy, we will discuss about this now. We have learned many types of journalism through this massive open online course. Also introduced with the international affairs, which deals with nations and its communication, sometimes through hotlines. Then it will be a tricky relationship with neutrality, because the professionals representing their nations and also should tackle the situations in the foreign country. Then maintain the neutrality means favoring all sides and reporting all sides, which is not possible for them. It will be easier for the journalist in the domestic land with common values, even in controversy news coverage. But with cultural differences, ethnic diversity, an international affairs reporter should have curious nose for news and also look out for the common grounds to avoid the violations. Even in war news reporting, these common grounds should be identified for the sake of humanity and reporters' safety. Is it possible for a reporter to find a halfway house between two extremes? This question may arise in your mind while looking for the common grounds. This question is the main pillar for the report to understand their position in the reporting. Objectivity should be maintained with news values and tolerance. While covering the news abroad, the news organization standards should be identical to other professional news organizations in the foreign land. Foreign reporter should tell the truth, acknowledge opposing views and cite authoritative experts and authentic local voices. It is just not transparent reporting, but also an objectivity reporting. Here comes the editor's part of handling the sensitive matters. Editor will choose the subjects which are in common grounds, and the central matter of the news will be consulted with legal officers of the organizations. In a democratic country, the tolerance of the aggressive news items is common. But in a monarch or diplomatic countries, it is not easy to publish an aggressive news item. So, advanced editorial priorities should be derived for the international affairs reporting. From the reader's perspective, news should be easy to digest and professionally reported. Some misleading words, ideas should be explained in a clean way. In India, punishments for the cruel crimes are not cruel, but some countries make it cruel and public for the sake for the prevention of the same act. While reporting the same, a reporter should explain the context of the punishment for melting down the reader's reactions. Reflecting the homeland policies in this case will fuel the post-published reactions among the readers. So, editors also look around the commonly devoted prime space to the stories. They consider these news items particularly important. In Western media policies, editors consider them neutral and reflect their policies for the basic belief in liberty and tolerance. In television news reporting, media frequently edit the extremist videos due to the self-censorship policy and minimize the impact of the videos to their viewers. Television viewers are from different environment, age groups, cultural backgrounds, ethnicity, religion and ideologies. So, the self-censorship is vital to succeed the neutrality of the channel in a democratic country. So, the Western news outlets rarely write stories for the audience around the globe. They dedicate their writings particularly for their audience in this case. Now we will see about bias in news. Do you trust yourself? The answer is definitely yes. At the same time, the question takes a twist that do you trust your ideas for executing something is always a dilemma. If you are reading a news report or watching a news bulletin, the same dilemma will always be there because of the dilemma. Whether the news report is encrypted with some other intentions or just it has neutral news in it. This question will lead us to the solution that will help us to detect bias in the news media with fairness and accuracy reporting. There are more steps to detect the media bias from reporting to the end product. The first step in detecting media bias is documenting what you see in the event and read from the press release or evidence. It may be a newspaper, television, radio or new media. The source is the first priority to detect the media bias. Who is the source or the news story if they are diverse, politically active, sticking with a strong ideological groups or the next story to detect the media bias. Media will always publish dominant powers releases with the authenticated source and then it is an official information disseminating process. In that case, the underrepresentation of voiceless may occur with the use of media as megaphones for those in power. The next step to identify the media bias is the point of view of the news. Often political coverage focuses on how issues affect politicians or the executives rather than those directly affected by the issue. During the time of Bhopal gas tragedy, all newspapers downed the corporate executives' point of view and stood with the people who were the victims of poison gas leak out. Double standards are the next step to detect the media bias. In case of promoting the opinion of people who commit white-collar crimes or a standard, and the petty case thief and others are treated with other standards. Reporter should not commit this double standards in their reports to take benefit over powerless. In case of domestic violence, molestation, sexual assault, news coverage, a report should take serious care of the victim. It may be male or female. Victims or victims. So, the double standards are always biased for the news report. There are more types of media bias exist in this field. As per the study of D'Alessio and Allen, they have derived 3 forms of media bias. We will see this. The first one is coverage bias that will make less visibility of a character or the particular issue to minimize the sensitivity. Then gatekeeping bias when stories are selected or deselected, sometimes on some ideological grounds and also giving spike for some stories for the political or organizational gain. The last one is statement bias, when media coverage is slanted towards or against particular character or issue. It may be political or non-political news, but the media bias may occur anywhere and it can spread the wings in advertising, mainstream, even in community news. Let us take a look into the history to find when this media bias started. Political bias started to spread its wings in mass media since the birth of the printing press. The expense of early printing equipment was too high. The pioneers had to depend on the hands of source. Historians wanted to preserve the news to the next generation, so that they found their publishers who often served the interest of powerful social groups. Later in 1644, John Milton's pamphlet Areopagitica, a speech for the liberty of unlicensed printing, came to the limelight as an evidence for freedom of press. Follow-ups brought 19th century advanced journalist concept of unbiased reporting as an integral part of journalistic ethics. This event coincided with the rise of journalism as a powerful social development platform till the social media's ventures. Concentration of ownership was the main issue which tied the legs of media freedom, unbiased reporting, but now the situation has changed. Anglophone bias in the world media. Anglophone bias in the world media is another still emerging bias. The main bias of news are Anglophone, which means the English-speaking world, or the editors of the world media even today. There are more and more types of bias are still crushing the media industry, like religious bias, advertising bias, concession bias, corporate bias, mainstream bias, partisan bias, sensationalism, structural bias, false balance, false timeliness, speculative content, undue weight, ventriloquism, confirmation bias, like. There are the biases which need to be eradicated from the reporting world. Only the voiceless will get their need information to support their livelihood and develop themselves from the current status. Let us finish this session with a saying of Malcolm X. If you are not careful, the newspaper will have you hating the people who are being oppressed and loving the people who are doing the oppressing. This saying is from the time of suppression among a group of people were justified with uncultured thoughts. Later, the neutral, objective, unbiased reporting brought us the different perspective towards the ideology of media vehicle. We can stick with any ideology, but when it comes to media professionalism, one must look into the facts, should see everything from the objective viewpoint, and eliminate the meaningless hostilities over what information can actually be spread. New media professional should eventually wipe out the cancerous bias that will infect news agencies and mass media platforms, no matter which field we are reporting, no matter which location we are reporting, no matter which language we are reporting. A media profession should make war against media bias for the lifetime. Hope you understood the concept of neutrality and consequences of bias in news from this session. In the next session, let us differentiate the reporting styles, techniques for print, radio, television and new media. Thank you.